For the first exercise, we kept the first variation because his back is not in contact with the wall yet. I made him focus on the sternum and ribs in, so the work is a bit more present in the shoulder. And also to complete fully the move and touch the fingers together. So I chose two different variations of the many one. The first one, I wanted to focus only on the movement at the shoulder and having minimal engagement for the core, so we chose the kneeling position. I only corrected the stack so to have like the weight above the shoulder because naturally it was kind of closing it a bit, and we talked also about the core engagement in our core, not like letting the pelvis go in introversion. We chose this second one to have more anti-rotation for the core, and also the press movement and the correction were kind of the same, keeping the stack with the top arm, keeping the elbow under the shoulder, but that was overall pretty well executed. A few adjustments in this one has been made. So naturally you wanted to grab the band like thumbs pointing down, more in internal rotation. So I made him switch the grip. By the way, I never saw this exercise done for powerlifting that specific way, so that was pretty interesting for me. I made him pause in the back, really keeping the focus on the ribs in and the core engaged, and trying to have like the hands as low as possible in the back and lower the scap. Also, now seeing it again, I would also recommend having a bit of retraction in the head as he bring the hands back. For this one, it was a new one for me. I never really played with hammers before. So we practiced with a stick first and try to mimic your video and have the acceleration phase and all that. He did that pretty well, better than I would have done the exercise for sure. And the only thing I corrected was like a slight bend in the knee and like the core like staying very still, but everything seems good to me. I made a few changes in this one, and I hope you won't mind. I just find that to activate a bit more the lat, straight arm would be interesting if he was able to lock the elbows, to have a bit more action and extension, like the tricep are kind of useful if he engaged them too much. And I also like in between reps have him to lift the hips, so he has also kind of a rest there, and when he also like engage a lat, he like sink the hips down, and I kind of compared the way you demo the exercise and this one, and I was able to see that he was getting a bit more range. I don't know if it's because he did it after, but I just went for this because that's what we do in contortion too. This one wasn't the best executed at first. I brought a few tweaks to it. So naturally it was like placing his foot like super close to him. So I made him gain a bit of a few centimeters, one or two, bringing his foot more back. And same for like the back leg in internal rotation. It was close to the butt. And also when he was like bending, he was feeling a bit of a stretch in the knee. I didn't like that, so I put something to elevate a bit the butt, so he was like able to really go into the hinge, having more external rotation to the hip, and I prefer that. And also he was like helping with his hands on his thigh. So I try to have him not assist too much with his hands and keeping the straight spine. So yeah, naturally, he wanted to bend the spine as he was like inching. So we kind of like find a balance in between a tiny engine and a straight back. And we were working also on the control in the hinge and being more dynamic as you do the extension. So I wanted to have a comparison with his bench technique, being not warm at all and having an hour of work done. So basically he had your warm-up done plus a few exercise, PNF hands-on with me. So what I can notice is the arch in the back is a bit more pronounced, and we didn't work the hip much, but like now I see that it's something that we could work a bit more. And of course, like the pec were more loose, but the range is tiny doing this movement, so I don't really see any difference. Maybe from your eyes that would be different. So yeah, that's the comparison. I forgot also to mention that I specifically worked the T-spine around 3 different joints where it was bending less, applying a lot of pressure. So that may be because of that I see a bit of a difference in the arch. So that's the baseline for Alex in flexion. I made him like keep the thumbs up to have like a neutral position, and when he was like at his max in flexion, I just like asked him to relax fully. As we can see, a lot of tension in the internal rotator, in the flexor, a lot of tension also in the rhomboid and the trap, because the arm are like sliding flying to the side, I would say. So yeah, that's the baseline. No arch really there, only the arms sliding. So we did another test after the warm-up done, so I wanted to know how much you've gained from your warm-up. The increase is pretty good. Less internal rotation, more flexion, the arms slide less to the side, so that's pretty good. And then after I've done all those exercises with him, I was able to figure out where he needed more attention. So yeah, I did some hands-on work after that. So to obtain this, I worked pec minor, pec major, rhomboid, trap, extension in the shoulder, thoracic extension. I've used also some gua sha tool and a bit of cupping in his front delt, and same for the bicep. So yeah, a few things that I've added to optimize the range. I just want to add that Alex showed me his program. This is amazing. I never saw something as structured for a power lifter before. I find it looks like a periodization of like Olympic weightlifting that I've saw before. That's great. I really don't want to like change the plan. I just want to add my expertise to help Alex. Please let me know if I'm tweaking the exercise a way that you don't want, or there was a specific focus that I haven't thought of that you wanted. I'm happy to bring my expertise in mobility and being able to contribute working hands-on on him. So yeah, great work.
Woo!